Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a video talking about an older camera that I actually know about, and I was there when it actually first came out. It's called the Samsung NX500. I don't know if you guys actually know about it, right? But I feel so stupid because I do remember it being offered. And I was like, no, I don't want to get it. And I did a few YouTube reviews watching it, right? So I watched probably several videos, and the quality to me just put me off. It looks like a smartphone type of quality, and that's very off-putting to me because the last thing I would want is for my camera that I would want to purchase to look like a smartphone, like that over sharpened Samsung type of look. Not quite the Canon G7X. That one is like animated and like really over sharpened. It does not look natural at all. But anyways, it looked not as good as the Sony because I love the way the Sony looks, although its like colors were not accurate at the time. Now it has changed. I believe that the most popular Sony camera to vlog with was the Sony A5100, but it's plagued with this overheating thing, right? I just realized that the Samsung NX500 has no overheating issues, and it's also a vlog camera, and I never purchased it. And I was just watching some more videos about it, about the video quality, and it's not as bad as I thought. I was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe the videos I was watching wasn't showing the real quality of it, but it's like basically the Sony A5100 image quality. Technically it is a little bit better, although it's not as real and like deep looking, where the shadows look deeper, and then the lighting looks really good on it, and then it's not as good with the lighting, and the shadows are not as deep and like real as like the Sony cameras, because you know that they look really good. I've always loved the way that they look. They just look amazing to my eyes. Definitely it does not look anything like a smartphone at all. Think of the Samsung NX500 looking in between the Canon G7X and the Sony A5100, right? But this camera was amazing. It was right behind the Sony A6000 in terms of its autofocus, so it was way up there. But the fact was that it didn't even overheat. I just found this out right now. I feel so stupid. I can't believe that I chose the Sony NX5R, which is an older model of the Sony A5100, over the Samsung NX500, and I feel so stupid. Oh my gosh, it's just like, and at that time I didn't know that Samsung would literally discontinue it shortly after they like literally made the camera, and now it's so hard to find. There was a period of time that I do remember me searching on it on like eBay, and then the price was like jacked up to like $1,500 because it was suddenly just super rare. It's kind of like what the Sony RX10 Mark IV is like going with right now, because you know how the price of it is like $2,500 even to like $3,000, although the normal price is like $1,600-ish, you know, $1,700-ish, around there. But I managed to snag it right before there was no more left. And at the time when I did purchase the Sony RX10 Mark IV, which I've made a whole video about, it was actually discontinued, but they were just, you know, whatever was like left over was still there. So it took a while for it to be completely like out of stock, right? Because immediately when a manufacturer stops making something, that does not mean that it's gone the next day, unless it's super popular or something. But it took a while for it to, you know, sell off all the ones that were left. It's not like the Canon G7X Mark II or like whatever, where it's in demand all the time. Anyways, the Samsung NX500 was not a very popular camera, but whoa, looking at it now, it's like, it's just so good. And then the quality, I was like watching it, and it literally looks real. Not as real as, you know, the Sony A5100 with its deep shadows, like I said, but still quite good. It kind of sometimes has like this almost grainy look to it. It just always maybe looks almost grainy. Kind of maybe a little bit sharpened, but not overly sharpened like the Canon G7X. But man, I wish I just got it when it was in stock. I feel so stupid. That camera's amazing. At the okay, so like at the time, right? The Samsung NX500 could shoot. I believe it was the only camera under $700 that could shoot cinema 4K. No other camera could. When it first launched, I think it was going for 700. I don't know if it was 800 or like 700, but there was a like price drop of $100 shortly after it came out. So I don't know if it was 800 normally or like 700 normally, but either way it was dropped like $100, and I should have gotten it. Now I feel so stupid. I'm like looking on like eBay, right, just out of curiosity now, and it's like I can't even find. I mean, I can find them used, but I want one that's like brand new, like a brand new one. Because I did see some Samsung NX100s and some Samsung 200s, but I don't want those. I really want the 500 one because of the flip screen. I would be using it as a vlog camera because my NX5R is just kind of really old, and then the outdatedness of it, you know, the autofocus system. But I mainly want it due to the lack of overheating. If I had known that, I would have bought it on the spot. And then I heard that the kit lens does like noise. Apparently when it does the autofocus during video, which is so minuscule, the people made it sound so bad at the time that it literally turned me away. Because for those of you that don't know, the Sony RX100 Mark V that I'm actually recording this video on also technically makes noise during autofocus. It's just so minimal that you can hate that you can't hear it. If anything, the Canon G7 X's autofocus noise is even louder than this, and it's actually audible if you're fully silent. But like when you talk and stuff, you can't hear it, and that one even has a fairly loud autofocus noise for it being silent, if you know what I mean. That one has the loudest out of like all the three, and I can't even hear that. So, and I was watching videos of people, you know, using the Samsung 500, and I did not hear anything. So people just really pushed me away from it. I think like, oh, I feel so stupid now because it's such a gem of a vlog camera, and like just as a side camera, I would use it alongside my Sony RX100 Mark V, you know, to vlog with. And having another camera that does not overheat is so valuable to me, because I do have the Sony A7 IV and the Sony RX10 Mark IV, but the Sony RX10 Mark IV, you know, you can't see it. You know, it does not have a flip screen. So that one, I let it go. That's the one time that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this without the actual flip screen, because it's just such an amazing camera. But I don't really use that with YouTube. That's kind of just like a fun hobbyist type of thing. But if I had the NX500, I could literally use that as a B cam to my A7 IV, which does not really overheat. Neither would the Samsung 500, you know, and I could technically see them both. Then I could even maybe use the RX10 as a third cam, you know. So just anything that makes my cameras not being able to overheat is a big plus, because every time I use a Sony NX5R, in my head I'm always like, oh, like I have to kind of be conscious about this overheating thing, and it's really annoying. But now I'm like looking at the NX500, and it's just like, I wish I got a brand new. So I see some NX2000s that are brand new here on eBay. There was an NX100 that was brand new, and those are older, you know, those are the older ones. So the NX500 probably was not being made for very long. I think it came out technically in February, but they announced it to the public in March or like April, and then they stopped production, I think, in like November. So that's not even a full year of actually producing the camera. So that is a big bummer, guys. I really hope. And here it is again, the Samsung 100, brand new. I just saw it. There's not many of them, but you can still find them. But anyways, guys, that was my point. The NX500 would have been so valuable, and its autofocus system is like up there. It's actually good. It's much better than the NX500. And if I had the Samsung NX500, right, all my cameras would be 4K capable. So it's just, another gem, that I could use in my production, because I do plan on vlogging in the future. So I just feel like I really left out on that. I just wish I got it. Yeah, so anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. All right, see you guys.